I have liberated 2 islands of Tanoa from the clutches of the SAF without firing a shot. And in this video, I'm going to continue the liberation, taking another airbase and blitzing my way deep into enemy territory. And I'm going to do all this only using AI in Arma 3 Antistasi without firing a single bullet. With the completion of the liberation of both starting islands and the bottom left of the map under our control, the plan to relocate the rebel HQ to the third island began. This is where this video really begins. Recruiting 3 infantry squads, the insurgency into enemy territory commenced, starting with the attack on the town of Tobacoro. Once we had secured the town, we moved our HQ to this island and continued preparations for the upcoming attacks on MP forces in the local towns to generate support for the cause and gather guns and armour. 3 groups, each consisting of 3 squads of infantry, were formed and deployed to conduct simultaneous attacks, each on one of 3 towns. During these attacks, both the 5.56 M21A rifle and the 6B23 armoured rig were unlocked, significantly enhancing our infantry's combat capabilities. By slowly and repeatedly assaulting the towns around us, we were able to convert the first town to our cause. Our infantry engaged the MP forces and a patrol that happened to be moving in to reinforce the towns. We continued to convert the other towns, and once this was completed, we moved on the outpost in the centre of the island. Purchasing BMPs and BTRs from the arms dealer, we launched the attack, starting with an airstrike on the ground forces as our attacking units moved in. This airstrike did considerable damage, so we sent in another as the BMPs moved in to attack. As our units made contact with the enemy, they were able to take out an LMG, which saved a lot of the infantry squads from taking considerable damage, as this guy was driving around for ages, even with most of the defences taken out. After our attacking forces finally eliminated the patrol that had been driving around for ages, the outpost was secured and we awaited the counterattack. The SAF sent a helicopter and an AA truck to recapture the outpost, but our anti-aircraft defences made quick work of the helicopter. The BMPs took on the AA truck, defeating it in no time at all. With the counterattack repelled and having secured the outpost on the island, our forces were still in good shape, so I tasked them with obliterating the seaport in the town of Harcourt. Issuing orders to move on the town, the BMPs made first contact, quickly neutralising most of the defences and a roadblock as our infantry moved in. Our infantry engaged the enemy forces and began to overwhelm them as their defences began to break and surrender. We did lose some armour, but not to worry, as we can just recruit some more. Oh, it's the BMP, no? Yeah, it's my BMP. Oh, huh. Once we had secured the town and seaport, our armour moved into defensive positions as the SAF sent in some paratroopers.
Hearing that plane, yeah. It's coming from the carrier. They're just landing all outside the base now. These guys are pretty geared. Holy. They just lost something else in the background there.
Our infantry engaged them, trying to take them out before they could land on the ground and fight back.
Let's see what the BMP's doing. He's just sitting here as some of the paradroppers land out in the ocean. There's quite a lot of them, to be honest.
The anti-air unit was also able to repel the rest of the counterattack, taking out another helicopter.
He's slowly getting... There we go. He's blown up now. Oh, that was awesome. Looks so cool.
To help hold these defensive positions, a range of units were recruited to defend the outpost and the seaport. With a strong foothold on the third island, I wanted to try and blitz my way into part of the largest of the islands before attacking another airbase. beginning by launching an attack with infantry and MG cars on 2 different resources at the same time. We secured them both in no time. Our blitz into the main island continued as BMPs made very quick work of the defensive forces holding a 3rd and 4th resource. During this incursion, we also captured an outpost, giving us a strong foothold to work from after our attack on the airbase on the 3rd island. Focusing back on the airbase, the SAF's last stronghold in the south, we prepared for the attack by bolstering our defences with AA emplacements and AT emplacements. We began by recruiting 4 BMPs, 6 squads of infantry and mortars. We issued orders to all our units to move on the airbase, as our mortars struck different defensive positions, hoping to take out part of the defence. Our timing with the last round of water strikes and the BMPs arriving at the airbase was actually quite good, as the defenders were all over the place, and the anti-aircraft defending the airbase was quickly dealt with. Our BMPs advanced, taking out more of the defence, and a helicopter was sent to reinforce the airbase, but we disabled it, and I actually missed it crashing. With the airbase basically secure, the outpost in the town was still engaging our forces, so I sent in an airstrike, which took out most of the infantry defending the outpost, as a BMP began to engage the rest of the defence. Distributing new orders to move on the outpost, the attack on the last SAF stronghold on Island 3 began. Our infantry moved in from the south as I took the airbase, and while awaiting the counterattack, our ground forces moved on the outpost. I recruited a bunch of infantry and set up an AA gun to deal with the counterattack, making quick work of this helicopter. In the meantime, the 3rd island was secured with the capture of the 2nd outpost. With the attack on the airbase completed and the counterattack repelled, the bottom half of the map was now secure. We relocated our HQ to continue our incursion into the main island and SAF occupied territory. Our sights turned to the military base in the centre of the main island. Tanks were now purchasable from the arms dealer, so we prepared for our next attack on the military base with tanks, BMPs and multiple squads of infantry. The assault began as our Arma moved up and engaged a roadblock, taking it out in no time, as fighting began, with the BMPs engaging the defences. With an anti-air protecting the military base, we suffered casualties, as our infantry advanced slowly, engaging with the defenders. The anti-air was eventually abandoned after we disabled its turret, as our reinforcements moved up and into position. The attack continued gradually, taking out more of the defences and eventually allowing our tanks and BMPs to move in on the flag and capture the military base. The counterattack was then blown away, and the military base was secured.
Tank beats everything! Oh, man! I can do this all day!
This process continued as we utilised the arms dealer to acquire armour, assigning squads to the vehicles and then assaulting outposts, resources, factories and even air bases repeatedly until we fully liberated this land.